Team deathmatch. Eliminate the enemy.
Enemy grenade!
Front man here. This is the front man.
Hostile flashbang. Semtex front. Slotted him.
Front man here.
Flashbang incoming.
Duck. This is the front man. Front man here. This is the front man. Front man speaking.
Enemy UAV inbound.
Semtex. Enemy shotgun.
This is the front man.
Pull your head out of your ass and check your fucking targets.
Send it.
Eyes on enemy Molotov.
Get away. Didn't see that one. Front man speaking.
Spring line was disrupted.
Duck. A comeback in the name of equality.
Target appears hostile.
You let them get away. Interesting. This is the front man.
Eyes on shotgun. That's a kill.
There's a mole among us. Find them.
Got fire on.
You let them get away. Interesting. To die. The power of truth.
One in my sights.
Front man here. Didn't see this one coming.
Eyes on shotgun.
Front man speaking. This is the front man.
Single shooter. Semtex front. Eyes on enemy mine. Move up. Marksman is down. Hostile flashbang.
Disarm your spring mine.
Spring mine.
Front man here.
Deploying shock charge. Tactical spotted.
Rule breaker. On the move.
Wasted.
Shock charge going out.
Enemies rearming.
Front man speaking.
Using scout pulse.
Shock charge.
On to the next game.
Hostile RCXD in your AO.
Front man here.
Deleted.
Front man here.
They're walking all over you. Have some goddamn
Frag out.
pride.
Duck.
Tactical incoming.
Report to the nearest extraction point. I have to make a call.
Hard fail, Crimson. We need to fight.
Fair in the face of equality.
Hard point. Secure the objective. found the hard point.
Station marked.
Heads up, frag. Set that shock charge.
Hard point is secure.
Five down.
Molotov.
Hostiles captured the hard point.
Front man here. Send it.
Hard point locked down. Hard point located.
Oi, enemy grenade.
Front man speaking.
Hard point active. Hostiles have the hard point.
Front man here. Hostile eliminated.
Shock out.
This is the front man.
Hard point is secure.
Almost got them.
Hostiles have captured the hard point. Hard point identified.
Front man speaking. This is the front man.
Hard point is active. Hard point locked down.
Enemy with Semtex.
Hostiles have the hard point.
Front man here.
Authorized to Alpha 1. Hard point is secure.
Spring mine spotted.
This is the front man.
Hostiles have captured the hard point. Hard point located.
Time to die.
Time care package delivery.
Field of
Hey,
power.
enemy tactical.
Hard point locked down. Hard point active. Hostiles have the hard point.
Boy.
Almost got them.
Hard point is secure.
Grenade coming in.
That was too close. You've been hit.
Tally.
Hard point identified.
Aguinaldo calling in UAV.
We got the lead. Now hold it. Hard point set. Hostiles captured the hard point. Come on, you're losing this fight.
TACOM. LVBR on my mark.
Popped up.
Front man speaking.
Rolling flag.
Back up. Deploy counter UAV. Hard point locked down.
Heads up, frag.
Lead down.
Five of them.
Hostile eliminated.
Hard point located.
Move up, front.
hard point. Hard point active. Hard point is secure.
Frontman speaking.
Boy, enemy grenade.
Hostiles have captured the hard point. Hard point locked down.
Done and done.
Didn't see that one coming.
Hard point identified. Hostile counter UAV established above. Hostile UAV established
sent.
overhead. Hostiles have the hard point.
Eyes on shot.
Frontman speaking.
Weaver requesting Hellstrom strike.
Heads up. Molotov inbound.
On the move.
Tally, mine. Hostile removed.
A comeback in the name of quality.
You've fallen behind. Requesting recon above. Back off. Get a care package on my grid. Hard point located.
Didn't see that one coming.
Eyes on center.
Hard point active.
Frontman speaking.
Hostiles have captured the hard point.
Enemy field upgrade.
Catching up, center. Gotta move up. Spring mine spotted.
Hard point is secure.
This is the front man.
Priming.
Hard point identified. Look alive. Hostile sentry turret active.
Tactical incoming.
Marking LBDR target.
Hard point set.
Lethal.
Incoming subject.
Back up. Getting UAV in the air.
That's not exactly fair. Frontman speaking.
Flash out. Hold fire. I'm on your side.
TACOM, request Hellstrom tactics.
Hey, back off. Got a watchdog kilo overhead.
This is the front man.
Hard point locked down.
Joy. Fire an archangel.
Enemy springboard.
Hostiles have the hard point. Hard point located.
On the move.
Shit. Sniper working.
Hard point active. Hostiles have captured the hard point.
You've been hit. Send it.
Hostile shock spotted. Eyes on Centex. See one.
Enemy field upgrade.
Send it. Feel the power of true equality.
Enemies are rearming.
Hard point identified. incoming on your location. Hardpoint is active. Hardpoint is secure. Hostiles have the hardpoint.
Come on, no time to try to see.
Hardpoint locked down.
Heads up, enemy planting mine.
Hostiles have captured the hardpoint.
Frag sent. Double sniper. Let's make moves.
Front fence speaking.
Hardpoint located.
Duck.
Hardpoint locked down. Hostiles have the hardpoint. Hardpoint active. TACOM, I need eyes overhead. Hostiles have captured the hardpoint.
This is the front man.
They've got an assault pad. Shooter. Sharpshooter removed.
Hardpoint is secure.
Eyes on Semtex. Sending a Semtex.
Duck.
Hostiles have the hardpoint.
Dad always taught us to make good on our debts.
Hardpoint locked down.
Front man.
Hardpoint identified.
Eyes on hostile sector. Calling in score streak.
Grenade coming in.
R60 deployed.
Enemy with Semtex.
TACOM. UAV.
Hardpoint is active. Hardpoint is secure.
Eyes on Semtex.
This is the front man.
Hostiles have captured the hardpoint. Hardpoint locked down.
Lighting Molotov.
Heads up. Frag.
On the move.
Hardpoint located.
Front man speaking.
I'll say this once. Do not fuck with me.
Hardpoint active. Hardpoint is secure.
Front man.
Hardpoint locked down. Hostiles have the hardpoint.
Semtex incoming.
Lifting line disrupted.
Hostiles have captured the hardpoint.
Enemy UAV in the air.
Front man speaking.
Hardpoint locked down. Hardpoint identified.
Duck.
Hostiles have the hardpoint. Hardpoint is secure. Hardpoint is active. Hostiles have captured the hardpoint.
Marking target location. Operator establishing score streak.
Hardpoint locked down. Get a counter UAV in the air.
As Ronaldo calling in watchdog. TACOM. Launching UAV.
Hostiles have the
Tally.
hardpoint.
Mine.
Calling in score
Contact
streak.
shipping. As Ronaldo requesting LDBR strike.
Hardpoint is secure. Establish watchdog helo on station above. Hardpoint located.
As Ronaldo Aggronaldo calling in UAV.
Hostiles have captured the hard point.
TACOM. LBVR on my mark.
Hardpoint active. Hardpoint locked down.
Eyes on enemy.
Get a UAV on grid.
Front man here.
Got the kill. Enemy in the black.
TACOM. Get a UAV in the air.
Hostile shooter.
TACOM. Launch counter UAV. Hardpoint identified.
Front man speaking.
TACOM. Launching UAV.
Hardpoint is active. Hostiles have the hardpoint.
Incoming subjects.
This should help. Front man here.
Firing
Scout
Archangel.
pulses up. Flash fire. Grenade coming in.
Come and get me.
Deploying
Throwing
RCXD.
frag.
Hardpoint is secure.
Front man speaking.
Hostiles have captured the hardpoint. Hardpoint located. Hardpoint locked down. Hardpoint active. Hostiles have the hardpoint.
Heads up. Frag.
Requesting recon above.
Throwing frag.
Send it.
Hardpoint identified. Hardpoint is secure. Hardpoint is active. Hostiles have
Enemy
captured the
planting mine.
hardpoint.
Aggronaldo requesting LBVR strike.
Hardpoint locked down. Hostiles have the hardpoint. Operator establishing score streak. Calling in score streak.
TACOM. Get a UAV in the air.
Diving RCXD. Hardpoint is secure.
Kill.
Driving RCXD.
Enjoy.
Front man speaking.
Hey, enemy tactical.
Hardpoint
Throwing
located.
frag.
RCXD rolling out. Hostiles have captured the hardpoint. Hardpoint active. Hardpoint locked down.
Target drop.
Didn't see that one coming.
Operator establishing score streak.
That one coming.
Enemy with Semtex.
This is the front man.
They're moving.
Marshal requesting UAV tasking.
Grenade coming.
Hostiles have the hardpoint. Hardpoint is secure. Hostiles have captured the hardpoint.
Didn't see
Heads
that
up.
one coming.
Frag.
point is active. Hostiles have captured the hard point.
Semtex out.
Calling in score streak. Hard point is secure.
Incoming subjects.
RCXD rolling out.
Aguinaldo calling in UAV.
Tally, line. Dead.
Hard point located.
Marking LVBR target.
Hostiles have the hard point. Hard point active. Hard point locked down. Enemy UAV inbound.
Enemy marksman down. Now's our chance. Set that shock charge.
Frontman speaking. Didn't see that one coming.
Hostiles have captured the hard point.
Enemies are rearming. Grenade cap.
Hard point is secure. Hard point identified. Hard point set. Hostiles have the hard point. Operator establishing score streak.
Boy, enemy grenade.
Hard point locked down.
I'll say this once. Do not fuck with me.
Hostiles captured the hard point. Hard point is secure.
Frontman here.
Hostiles have the hard point. Hard point locked down. Hard point located. We've taken control.
Down.
Hard point active. Hard point is secure.
That's not exactly fair.
Hostiles have captured the hard point.
They've got an assault pack.
Calling in score streak.
Frontman speaking.
Operator establishing score streak. Hard point identified.
Hostile shot spotted.
Hard point is active. Hard point locked down. RCXD deployed.
Enemies are rearming.
Pulling ahead.
Frontman here.
RCXD activating.
On to the next area.
Attack off. Launch a UAV.
Finish lines in sight. Don't let up.
Didn't see that one coming.
5 down.
Requesting CUAV above.
Using lethal.
Hard point located.
Shot was good.
Hostiles have the hard point.
This is the front man.
Calling in score streak.
Dog. Front man speaking.
Hostile shooter.
Frag sent.
Ended.
TACOM, I need eyes overhead. Spotting RCXD.
Oh wait, find your own. This one's mine.
Hard point is active.
Front man here.
Hard point locked down.
Didn't see that one coming.
As an over calling in UAV, was that your best shot?
Hostiles captured the hard point. Hard point is secure.
Enjoy.
Weaver requesting UAV capture. God damn, I love this taste of victory. Hotel Sierra.
Good job, crew. Someone pull us out so we can celebrate.
Hey, bro, at this point, dog, at this point, daylight. I ain't gonna lie, boy, you gotta get out that studio, man. You gotta take your bed out that studio, dog. Go home. Nigga, go home. I know you watching. Go yo home, nigga. Give us a break. God, look for every day.
Doc, got something in common. We ain't popping the West, we went East to feast for years before the city would back us. It was hard for the skill.
Ooh, okay, we serious. Okay, we serious. Off the real. The pop lock scheme. Come on, bro. He said, hey, me and Doc, we got something in common. Both of us. We ain't pop off in the West. Nigga, we came East and did our footwork over here. We did our groundwork on the East first. Then we went back and took over the city, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
I did a lot to get my spot in the best. Me and Doc got something in common. We ain't popping the West, we went East to feast for years before the city would back us. It was hard for the skilled LA niggas to really get traction close. Homies gave us the crooked eye for rapping with pain. Conscious rap, they shut the door if you ain't snatching a chain. It affected us, Dot. I can't forget when they was neglecting us. They said we'll never make it now.
Basically saying lyrical rap, niggas that was lyrical, it was hard for us. Which it's still like that, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It's only a few niggas that care about lyrical rap. I'm one of them. It's only a few. When I say niggas, I'm talking about the whole world. It ain't that group that care about lyrical rap. It ain't too many, bro. It definitely ain't too many niggas that got platform that got a platform that care about it. So I get it. He said it was hard for niggas like me and Dot to make it out. If we want snatching a chain or doing some crash out stuff, we ain't getting no views. Come on, man.
We ain't snatching a chain, it affected us, Dot. I can't forget when they was neglecting us. They said we'll never make it now. Look who protecting us. It's the West Coast bodyguard. Physical past, show my body scars. Been through every barrel with 100 raps. Back when it was one shot kill, wasn't no running back. Barbershops, corner stores, miss a word and you done in fact. Just spit some...
Oh, yeah. I remember that. It used to be just like that, bro. You mess up on one word. You miss one word. But ain't no second chances, nigga. He could be speaking on the battle like how they keep dropping and dropping and dropping. No, nigga, it was one track and you done. You got to make that impact with that one track or that one round in battle rap or nigga, it's over with for you. You can't make no mistakes. They'll let you make mistakes now, but I remember in battle rap, you couldn't make a mistake. If you made a mistake, nigga, it's over with. You lost. Straight like that.
Raps, back when it was one shot kill, wasn't no running back. Barbershops, corner stores, miss a word and you done in fact. Just spit superb, you tell your homies quiet down to rip a nerve. Before I met Soul, I made you niggas heard. Resident Evil, pleasant with people. Time to snap like a schizo without a pill. Let's head to the sequel. Now this the night at the Apollo as I swallow your career whole. Dear Cole, tell him what I did in the studio. 300 tracks in 2 days, I'm for sure pop. Came out the booth, the whole...
That nigga said, ask Cole. Nigga, 300 tracks in 2 days? Bro, go home. I guarantee you that's what Cole wanted to do. Go home. You know Cole a peaceful nigga. He wanted to go watch Family Matters or something. Like, I'm trying to tell you. 300 tracks in 2 days? Ain't no way, dog. I would have said, man, get out my studio, man. Get out my studio. I ain't telling nobody nothing. Get out of my... Nigga, go home.
Room said he not like us. That was before that. A human, I'm for sure not human. Got me internal vision, right in the sin. I blacked out this whole ride. You see, it's light at the end.
Oh my God.
Lex was a tough decision. I fuck with it. Fuck you bitches. It's up, so we up the switches. Switches stand. One man left when the hill was quill. I'm here. Kill a clown. Thinking that he it. Oh, it's deaf. You hear me now? Nope. Show me a quote that's.
The whole clown and it scheme. Come on, man. Come on, Daylight.
Human got me in tunnel vision, right in the sin. I blacked out this whole ride, you see it's light at the end.
Oh my God.
Lux was a tough decision, I fuck with it, fuck you bitches. It's up, so we up the switches, switches stand. One man left when the hill was quill, I'm here. Kill a clown, thinking that he oh, is deaf, you hear me now. Nope. Show me a quote that stuck from one of them records. Flow in pocket, nice voice, don't beat selection, I see you. Low in the spot that get you added to goats. It's the talent I boast. You salad with goat shreds, gin and juice, but no beach cruiser. This is Dre and Snoop on a moped. A deli slide, all life there equal to zero. It all comes.
See, that's what I'm talking about, bro. See, now this the type of track that separates Daylight from the rest, dog. I'm telling you, when this nigga get in this mode right here, this is one of the tracks you gotta run back 8 times to try to catch everything. Bro, he even broke down how the other niggas rapping. Nice flow, good beat selection. You stand in that pocket, yeah. You aggressive a little bit, yeah. But that's all you niggas doing. You niggas can't really rap like this. And I'm about to show you. Look at this, man. Look at this.
Me now, nope. Show me a quote that stuck from one of them records.
Okay.
Flow in pocket, nice voice, don't beat selection, I see you. Low in the spot that get you added to goats. It's the talent I boast. You salad with goat shreds, gin and juice, but no beach cruiser. This is Dre and Snoop on a moped. A deli slide, all life there equal to zero. It all comes around to the bread when they thinking they heroes. I chop cheesy thoughts, your sleazy cloth cut from a rinse rag. I watch you easy. Ruthless, my plot beneath me. Proofread, goofy, time to get spooky. See what's sun about. Life still outside, they running out. Homes got ghosts and it ain't a haunted house. What y'all debating? All
He got so many rhyme schemes and rhyme patterns going on right now. Man, this right here is elite rapping, dog. Like, it ain't too many niggas on this earth that can do this. I ain't gonna lie. I can only name that do it at the elite level. I can only name 3. Like, that's that technical with their raps. Eminem, Daylight, and Los. That's it. Them the only 3 I can name, like, that I can think of off the top of my head that can rap like this, bro. This is crazy.
I see you. Low in the spot that get you added to goats. It's the talent I boast. You salad with goat shreds, gin and juice, but no beach cruiser. This is Dre and Snoop on a moped. A deli slide, all life there equal to zero. It all comes around to the bread when they thinking they heroes. I chop cheesy thoughts, your sleazy cloth cut from a rinse rag. I watch you easy. Ruthless, my plot beneath me. Proofread, goofy, time to get spooky. See what's sun about. Life still outside, they running out. Homes got ghosts and it ain't a haunted house. What y'all debating? All the bait I gave you for conversation. Karma bacon, they hate shade throwing, but stall Ray-Bans. Glasses, all these niggas like black and they flow mulatto. Call that lay shit. Brooklyn clown on the ground, laid Harlem shaking. Double barrel.
Bro, go home, dog. Nigga, go home. Why is this nigga like this? I ain't gonna lie, man. Now I see why Kendrick the way he is, bro. He had to hang around this nigga. That's why Kendrick a psycho like he is. Cause he had to hang around Daylight. Go home.
All the Ray-Bans, glasses, all these niggas like black and they flow mulatto. Call that lay shit. Brooklyn clown on the ground, laid Harlem shaking. Double barrel aim, I won't spare a name. They're the game, go back in this place. I thank you, Joey. Grateful for this new space you created. AZ, King, Ray, Coyotes, Lip Hop, and K-Boy. Oh, hitter, we did that. Jag, we did that. Slid on niggas with bops and hard raps. Big smoke, this the cigar pack. Put hands and feet on niggas, cigars back. Can't cop out now, we set a hard trap. I'm in it for the long run, I'm Michael Johnson. Boy got AIDS, or he was Magic Johnson. Son of a bitch, 6'9" had y'all tucked in a ditch. The NY.
Oh my God. Huh? So you can't cop out now? We set the trap. 6'9" had y'all in the ditch. Hold up.
On trap, I'm in it for the long run. I'm Michael Johnson. Boy got AIDS, or he was Magic Johnson. Son.
Going got AIDS, he was Magic Johnson. Oh my God, nigga. Oh my. Yo, bro. This nigga Daylight different, man. I'm sorry.
Can't cop out now, we set a hard trap. I'm in it for the long run, I'm Michael Johnson. Boy got AIDS, or he was Magic Johnson. Son of bitch, 6'9" had y'all tucked in a ditch. The NY sound was up for the fishes. The ruler's back, or you the man, Joey? Today I crown you the king of New York for taking that stand, Joey. You really took the fade when all of us a brave man. NY made man, it should say immortal when your grave land. Big stepper, figure they needed this. Oh, this feeling, they deleted this. Elite exists in ways, hoping that we delete. They feed the streets, low ball rapping, so we don't tap into that fourth thought. They double speaking right in front of us, of course we.
I just say that? I just said that, bro. I just said that. He said, man, hey, man, let me be honest with y'all. I'm going to give Joey his credit for going up against all of us. I crown you the king of New York. Made man. Made men. I give you that salute. But he said, hey, let me be honest. Nigga, we had to rap down to your level because we knew niggas couldn't get to this level. Now he about to demonstrate. Man, I just said that, bro.
This elite exists in ways, hoping that we delete. They feed the streets, low ball rapping, so we don't tap into that fourth thought. They double speaking right in front of us, of course we all fought for every hood story. Paid in full, menace to society, boys in the hood, the play will pull, the mind right in Jersey Drive. I'm still whipping them without dissing. Kids, listen, this is just my real mission. Came to the game to show you the real vision. Marvelous, gargles, brainwashing lane, they got us in plain sight, staining each other when we should be hanging together. East Coast versus the West Coast, the clan got their own coats and we ain't want no smoke. None of us. Shouts to Khalid Muhammad. This shit is bigger than ramen, I promise. Land where we walking to. Malcolm Martin with all our crews. Trayvon Martin, Steez, you marching too. I figure we call the truth, then we all the truth and let them analyze what made up story gave us glory. This what they worry about. I tricked them with the beat plate, and now we on the sweepstakes, dummy balling.
Nigga said I tricked him. Like we wasn't gonna catch that. Like, nigga, bro, we know. Obviously now we know. You was trolling, man. Like, man, this nigga, bro. Hey, they like, you a smart nigga. I gotta give you that, bro. They like say, hey, while I got everybody listening, I'm about to show y'all. While everybody paying attention, I'm about to show y'all who the real boogeyman is.
So we ain't want no smoke, none of us. Shouts to Khalid Muhammad. This shit is bigger than ramen, I promise. Land where we walking to. Malcolm Martin with all our crews. Trayvon Martin, Steez, you marching too. I figure we call the truth, then we all the truth and let them analyze what made up story gave us glory. This what they worry about. I tricked them with the beat plate, and now we on the sweepstakes. Dummy ballin', filet me on 3 plates. The reactors can replay. We drop so much shit, they gon' be weeks late. Infinity War take for the street play. Had shit for the rappers and the DJ. A new case. People living in shacks had the screw face. I see y'all, thank you, I love you. All of the bloggers ballin', calling.
Nigga, I know you ain't just say my name, bro. I know this nigga ain't just say my name, bro.
Memento mori. It means remember death. Remember, you must die.
There's no discharge in the war.
Memorial Day weekend deals have arrived at Ashley. Now through Memorial Day Monday, shop incredible doorbusters starting at just $2.99. And save up to 30% off your entire purchase. Plus, you can buy now and pay later with 0% interest for 60 months with 0 down when you shop in store. Shop more doorbuster deals in store and online. Now through Monday, only at Ashley.
I know Daylight, dog. Nah, I know you ain't just say my name. He said screw name too. Hold up. Hold up.
Marching too. I figure we call the truth, then we all the truth and let them analyze what made up story gave us glory. This what they worry about. I tricked them with the beat plate, and now we on the sweepstakes. Dummy ballin', filet me on 3 plates. The reactors can replay. We drop so much shit, they gon' be weeks late. And
the reactors they replay. We drop so much shit, they gonna be.
Replay, we drop so much shit, they gon' be weeks late. Infinity War take for.
They gonna be weeks late. Oh my God. That nigga right though, cause bro, I be going back watching my old reactions, bro. Well, not old reactions, but the recent reactions from these past couple of days, bro. I be like, man, I miss so much stuff, dog.
Slate, Infinity War tape for the street play. Had shit for the rappers and the DJ. A new case, people living in shacks had the screw face. I see y'all, thank you, I love you. All of the bloggers balling, calling each other. All of the podcasters mobbing for supper, all off our hard work. Look how God worked. We fed the streets when they needed that the most, and we can boast about the shit for a lifetime. Hey, D1 is Christ time. God said light shine, I'm made to do it. No slave to who is in charge. I engraved the ruin, something new in the book of hip hop. Set the stage, I promise a new day, the age of the consciousness. Jamal, I got us liquidate devastation. I mastered all my crazy thoughts with sensory deprivation. Took mountain high.
Nigga said I mastered all my crazy thoughts, bro. That is a hell of a way to put that. But I want to go back on something he said too. He said, look, y'all, look what we did. We made stuff for all the reactors, all the bloggers, the podcasters. We let them eat. Like, he not lying, bro. I say 90% of these tracks was not copyrighted. I think I got copyrighted for one of Joey's, but other than that, nothing got copyrighted. These niggas was dropping 4-5 tracks a day, letting niggas eat. Come on, bro. He said, hey, we did it for the streets. We did it so we can brag about it and boast about it later. And say, look what we did for the culture. Come on, bro. These niggas did not have to drop this many tracks. They could have copyrighted everything and ate for a minute. Man, listen, bro. Like I told you, man, Daylight and them boys, they're some real niggas. Joey too, man.
The hip-hop set the stage, I promise a new day, the age of the consciousness. Jamal, I got us liquidate devastation. I mastered all my crazy thoughts with sensory deprivation. Took mountain hikes through pyramids, I learned how to blink or two. History comes as text format, you see what the Inca do. Ride,
oh my God.
Decrease. We did it all without them bleeding the streets. We did it all without us feeding they beasts. We put our feet in the seats of the plans they had to dumb us down. It's summer now, the sun still set on the east. It's light.
The sun still set on the east. It's like, oh my God.
Plans they had to dumb us down. It's summer now. The sun still set on the east. It's light.
That's crazy. Nah, bro. Yeah, that's definitely the last track right there, man. Hey, that like I told y'all, man, this nigga is just on a whole different level when it comes to rhyming and rapping and being technical. Like Daylight this nigga is like an alien, bro. Like he told us in one of them other tracks, like I got 2 brains. Like ever since he said that, I believe it. Like I real life believe it. Like, nigga, how you drop? Like, go home. Shout out my dog Daylight, man. I'm gone, bro. I'm gone, man.
After Joseph, his brothers, and everyone else in that generation had died, the people of Israel became so numerous that the whole region of Goshen was full of them. Many years later, a new king came to power. He did not know what Joseph had done for Egypt, and he told the Egyptians, "There are too many of those Israelites in our country, and they are becoming more powerful than we are. If we don't outsmart them, their families will keep growing larger, and if our country goes to war, they could easily fight on the side of our enemies and escape from Egypt." The Egyptians put slave bosses in charge of the people of Israel and tried to wear them down with hard work. Those bosses forced them to build the cities of Pithom and Ramesses, where the king could store his supplies. But even though the Israelites were mistreated, their families grew larger, and they took over more land. Because of this, the Egyptians feared them worse than before, and made them work so hard that their lives were miserable. The Egyptians were cruel to the people of Israel, and forced them to make bricks, and to mix mortar, and to work in the fields. The king of Egypt, fearing the growing population of Israelites, orders Hebrew midwives to kill all male infants at birth. However, the midwives, fearing God, disobey the king's command and let the boys live. When questioned by the king about their actions, the midwives claim that Hebrew women give birth before they can arrive. As a result, God blesses the midwives for their faithfulness, and the Israelite population continues to increase. A man from the Levi tribe married a woman from the same tribe, and she later had a baby boy. He was a beautiful child, and she kept him inside for 3 months. But when she could no longer keep him hidden, she made a basket out of reeds and covered it with tar. She put him in the basket and placed it in the tall grass along the edge of the Nile River. The baby's older sister stood off at a distance to see what would happen to him. About that time, one of the king's daughters came down to take a bath in the river, while her servant women walked along the riverbank. She saw the basket in the tall grass and sent one of them to pull it out of the water. When the king's daughter opened the basket, she saw the baby crying and felt sorry for him. She said, "This must be one of the Hebrew babies." At once, the baby's older sister came up and asked, "Do you want me to get a Hebrew woman to take care of the baby for you?" "Yes," the king's daughter answered. So the girl brought the baby's mother, and the king's daughter told her, "Take care of this child and I will pay you." The baby's mother carried him home and took care of him. And when he was old enough, she took him to the king's daughter, who adopted him. She named him Moses because she said, "I pulled him out of the water." After Moses had grown up, he went out to where his own people were hard at work, and he saw an Egyptian beating one of them. Moses looked around to see if anyone was watching. Then he killed the Egyptian and hid his body in the sand. When Moses went out the next day, he saw 2 Hebrews fighting. So he went to the man who had started the fight and asked, "Why are you beating up one of your own people?" The man answered, "Who put you in charge of us and made you our judge? Are you planning to kill me, just like you killed that Egyptian?" This frightened Moses, because he was sure that people must have found out what had happened. When the king heard what Moses had done, he wanted to kill him. But Moses escaped and went to the land of Midian. Moses encounters the daughters of the priest of Midian while at a well. He helps them water their flock and protects them from shepherds who try to drive them away. The girls return home early, and their father, Reuel, asks them how they managed to return so soon. They explain Moses' assistance, and Reuel invites him to their home. Moses stays with Reuel and marries one of his daughters, Zipporah. They have a son named Gershom. Meanwhile, in Egypt, the Israelites groan under their bondage, and God remembers his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He sees their suffering and prepares to act on their behalf. Moses was taking care of the sheep and goats of his father-in-law Jethro, the priest of Midian, and Moses decided to lead them across the desert to Sinai, the holy mountain. There an angel of the Lord appeared to him from a burning bush. Moses saw that the bush was on fire, but it was not burning up. "This is strange," he said to himself. "I'll go over and see why the bush isn't burning up." When the Lord saw Moses coming near, he called him by name from the bush, and Moses answered, "Here I am." God replied, "Don't come any closer. Take off your sandals. The ground where you are standing is holy. I am the God who was worshipped by your ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." Moses was afraid to look at God, and so he hid his face. The Lord said, "I have seen how my people are suffering as slaves in Egypt, and I have heard them beg for my help because of the way they are being mistreated. I feel sorry for them, and I have come down to rescue them from the Egyptians. I will bring my people out of Egypt into a country where there is a lot of good land, rich with milk and honey. I will give them the land where the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites now live. My people have begged for my help, and I have seen how cruel the Egyptians are to them. Now go to the king. I am sending you to lead my people out of his country." But Moses said, "Who am I to go to the king and lead your people out of Egypt?" God replied, "I will be with you, and you will know that I am the one who sent you when you worship me on this mountain after you have led my people out of Egypt." Moses answered, "I will tell the people of Israel that the God their ancestors worshipped has sent me to them. But what should I say if they ask me your name?" God said to Moses, "I am the eternal God. So tell them that the Lord, whose name is I Am, has sent you. This is my name forever, and it is the name that people must use from now on." God instructs Moses to gather the elders of Israel and inform them of his plan to lead them out of Egypt. He assures Moses that they will listen to him, and together they will approach Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, to request permission to journey into the wilderness to worship God. God predicts that Pharaoh will initially resist their request, but assures Moses that he will perform mighty acts in Egypt. compelling Pharaoh to let the Israelites go. Moreover, God promises that the Israelites will not leave Egypt empty-handed. They will ask their Egyptian neighbors for articles of silver, gold, and clothing, which they will receive as a form of repayment for their years of servitude. This passage underscores God's sovereignty and his commitment to deliver his people from bondage, ensuring that they not only leave Egypt, but also leave with dignity and wealth. God equips Moses with miraculous signs to demonstrate his authority and power. He turns Moses' staff into a serpent and then back into a staff, turns Moses' hand leprous and then heals it, and instructs him to pour water from the Nile onto dry land, which turns into blood. Despite these signs, Moses continues to express doubt and reluctance, feeling inadequate for the task. God reassures Moses by appointing his brother Aaron as his spokesperson and promising to guide and instruct them both. Finally, Moses submits to God's command and begins his journey to Egypt with his family. But Moses almost lost his life for violating the covenant that God established with Abraham hundreds of years before. God wanted to kill Moses for neglecting to circumcise his son. Moses' wife, Zipporah, takes quick action and circumcises their son, saving Moses' life. This incident highlights the seriousness of following God's commands and the importance of obedience. With this obstacle overcome, Moses continues on his journey to Egypt, prepared to confront Pharaoh and lead the Israelites out of bondage. Moses and Aaron went to the king of Egypt and told him, "The Lord God says, 'Let my people go into the desert, so they can honor me with a celebration there.' 'Who is this Lord, and why should I obey him?' the king replied. 'I refuse to let you and your people go.' They answered, 'The Lord God of the Hebrews has appeared to us. Please let us walk 3 days into the desert where we can offer sacrifices to him. If you don't, he may strike us down with terrible troubles or with war.' The king said, 'Moses and Aaron, why are you keeping these people from working? Look how many you are keeping from doing their work. Now everyone get back to work.' That same day, the king gave orders to his Egyptian slave bosses and to the Israelite men directly in charge of the Israelite slaves. He told them, 'Don't give the slaves any more straw to put in their bricks. Force them to find their own straw wherever they can. But they must make the same number of bricks as before. They are lazy, or else they would not beg me to let them go and sacrifice to their God. Make them work so hard that they won't have time to listen to these lies.' The slave bosses and the men in charge of the slaves went out and told them, 'The king says he will not give you any more straw. Go and find your own straw wherever you can, but you must still make as many bricks as before.' The slaves went all over Egypt, looking for straw, but the slave bosses were hard on them and kept saying, 'Each day you have to make as many bricks as you did when you were given straw.' The bosses beat the men in charge of the slaves and said, 'Why didn't you force the slaves to make as many bricks yesterday and today as they did before?' Finally, the men in charge of the slaves went to the king and said, 'Why are you treating us like this? No one brings us any straw, but we are still ordered to make the same number of bricks. We are beaten with whips, and your own people are to blame.' The king replied, 'You are lazy, nothing but lazy. That's why you keep asking me to let you go and sacrifice to your Lord. Get back to work. You won't be given straw, but you must still make the same number of bricks.' The men knew they were in deep trouble when they were ordered to make the same number of bricks each day. After they left the king, they went to see Moses and Aaron, who had been waiting for them. Then the men said, 'We hope the Lord will punish both of you for making the king and his officials hate us. Now they even have an excuse to kill us.' Moses left them and prayed, 'Our Lord, why have you brought so much trouble on your people? Is that why you sent me here? Ever since you told me to speak to the king, he has caused nothing but trouble for these people, and you haven't done a thing to help.' The Lord God told Moses, 'Soon you will see what I will do to the king. Because of my mighty power, he will let my people go, and he will even chase them out of his country. My name is the Lord. But when I appeared to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, I came as God all-powerful and did not use my name. I made an agreement and promised them the land of Canaan, where they were living as foreigners. Now I have seen how the people of Israel are suffering because of the Egyptians, and I will keep my promise. Here is my message for Israel. I am the Lord, and with my mighty power I will punish the Egyptians and free you from slavery. I will accept you as my people, and I will be your God. Then you will know that I was the one who rescued you from the Egyptians. I will bring you into the land that I solemnly promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and it will be yours. I am the Lord." When Moses told this to the Israelites, they were too discouraged and mistreated to believe him. Then the Lord told Moses to demand that the king of Egypt let the Israelites leave. But Moses replied, "I'm not a powerful speaker. If the Israelites won't listen to me, why should the king of Egypt?" But the Lord sent Aaron and Moses with a message for the Israelites and for the king. He also ordered Aaron and Moses to free the people from Egypt. The Lord said to Moses, "See how important I have made you. In speaking to Pharaoh, you will be like God, and your brother Aaron will be your prophet. You will tell Aaron everything that I command you. Then he will tell the king what I say, and Pharaoh will let the Israelites leave this country. But I will make Pharaoh stubborn so that he will not do what you tell him. Then I will do many miracles in Egypt to prove who I am, but he will still refuse to listen. So then I will punish Egypt very much, and I will lead my army, my people, out of that land. I will punish the people of Egypt, and they will learn that I am the Lord. Then I will lead my people out of their country." Moses and Aaron did what the Lord told them. Moses was 80 years old at the time, and Aaron was 83. Moses and Aaron confront Pharaoh, demanding the liberation of the Israelites from slavery in Egypt. Initially, Aaron demonstrates God's power by turning his staff into a serpent, but Pharaoh's magicians replicate the feat. Undeterred, Moses and Aaron persist, warning Pharaoh of impending plagues if he refuses to comply. The first plague turns the Nile into blood, causing widespread devastation as the water becomes undrinkable, and fish die. Despite the devastation, Pharaoh's heart remains hardened, and he refuses to comply with Moses and Aaron's demands. This leads to the second plague, infestation by frogs, covering the land and invading every corner of Egyptian life. Pharaoh, desperate for relief, agrees to let the Israelites go if Moses intercedes with God to remove the frogs. However, once the frogs are gone, Pharaoh reneges on his promise, further infuriating God. The third plague strikes Egypt with swarms of gnats or lice, affecting both humans and animals. Despite their best efforts, Pharaoh's magicians fail to replicate this plague, recognizing it as the finger of God. The fourth plague brings a horde of flies, descending upon Egypt, but sparing the land of Goshen, where the Israelites reside. With each plague, Pharaoh's resolve weakens momentarily, but his heart remains hardened, and he refuses to let the Israelites go. The fifth plague intensified the suffering of the Egyptians, afflicting their livestock with disease, while the Israelites' livestock remained unharmed. Next, a sixth plague of painful boils strikes the Egyptian people, including Pharaoh himself. Yet he still does not yield to Moses and Aaron's demands. The seventh plague unleashes a devastating hailstorm, destroying crops and killing both people and animals throughout Egypt. The eighth plague brings forth a swarm of locusts, devouring whatever crops survive the hail, plunging Egypt into famine. Pharaoh's advisors urge him to let the Israelites go, but Pharaoh stubbornly refuses to let the Israelites go. Next, darkness blankets Egypt for 3 days, so thick that it can be felt, enveloping the land in obscurity. Yet again, Pharaoh rejects Moses' plea for freedom, further defying God's will. As the saga unfolds, it becomes clear that these plagues serve as both a demonstration of God's power and a judgment against Pharaoh's hardened heart. But the worst was yet to come. The Lord said to Moses, "I am going to punish the king of Egypt and his people one more time. Then the king will gladly let you leave his land. In fact, he will even chase you out. Now go and tell my people to ask their Egyptian neighbors for gold and silver jewelry." So the Lord made the Egyptians greatly respect the Israelites, and everyone, including the king's officials, considered Moses an important leader. Moses went to the king and said, "I have come to let you know what the Lord is going to do. About midnight he will go through the land of Egypt, and wherever he goes, the firstborn son in every family will die. Your own son will die, and so will the son of the lowest slave woman. Even the firstborn males of your cattle will die. Everywhere in Egypt there will be loud crying. Nothing like this has ever happened before or will ever happen again. But there won't be any need for the Israelites to cry. Things will be so quiet that not even a dog will be heard barking. Then you Egyptians will know that the Lord is good to the Israelites, even while he punishes you. Your leaders will come and bow down, begging me to take my people and leave your country. Then we will leave." Moses was very angry. He turned and left the king. God speaks to Moses and Aaron, instructing them about the beginning of the Hebrew calendar, designating this month as the first month. The institution of the Passover is initiated by God to the Israelites as they prepare to leave Egypt. God commands Moses and Aaron to tell the Israelites to mark their doors with the blood of a sacrificed lamb or goat, signaling their obedience and faithfulness. This blood serves as a sign to spare their households from the coming plague of death upon the firstborn of Egypt. The Israelites are instructed to eat the lamb with unleavened bread and bitter herbs, symbolizing both their haste to leave Egypt and the bitterness of their enslavement. This event signifies the beginning of a new era for the Israelites, as they are about to embark on their journey towards freedom from bondage. At midnight, the Lord killed the firstborn son of every Egyptian family, from the son of the king to the son of every prisoner in jail. He also killed the firstborn male of every animal that belonged to the Egyptians. That night the king, his officials, and everyone else in Egypt got up and started crying bitterly. In every Egyptian home, someone was dead. During the night the king sent for Moses and Aaron and told them, "Get your people out of my country and leave us alone. Go and worship the Lord as you have asked. Take your sheep, goats, and cattle and get out, but ask your God to be kind to me." The Israelites, seizing this moment of opportunity, gather their belongings and livestock and depart Egypt without delay, guided by Moses' leadership. Amidst the chaos and urgency, they meticulously observe the instructions given for the Passover meal, signifying their obedience and faith in God's deliverance. This departure from Egypt marks the culmination of God's promise to free the Israelites from slavery, setting them on the path towards their long-awaited freedom. Moses conveys God's instructions regarding the observance of the Passover meal, emphasizing its perpetual nature as a commemoration of their deliverance from slavery. The Israelites faithfully adhere to these instructions, observing the Passover with reverence and obedience as they prepare to depart from Egypt. Through the Passover, the Israelites reaffirm their covenant with God and celebrate his faithfulness in delivering them from bondage, laying the foundation for their identity as a chosen people destined for liberation and fulfillment of God's promises. After the king had finally let the people go, the Lord did not lead them through Philistine territory, though that was the shortest way. God had said, if they are attacked, they may decide to return to Egypt. So he led them around through the desert and toward the Red Sea. The Israelites left Egypt, prepared for battle. Moses had them take the bones of Joseph, whose dying words had been, "God will come to your rescue, and when he does, be sure to take my bones with you." The people of Israel left Succoth and camped at Etham at the border of Egypt near the desert. During the day, the Lord went ahead of his people in a thick cloud, and during the night, he went ahead of them in a flaming fire. That way the Lord could lead them at all times, whether day or night. At Etham, the Lord said to Moses, "Tell the people of Israel to turn back and camp across from Pi-hahiroth, near Baal-zephon, between Migdol and the Red Sea. The king will think you were afraid to cross the desert, and that you are wandering around, trying to find another way to leave the country. I will make the king stubborn again, and he will try to catch you. Then I will destroy him and his army. People everywhere will praise me for my victory, and the Egyptians will know that I really am the Lord." The Israelites obeyed the Lord and camped where he told them. When the king of Egypt heard that the Israelites had finally left, he and his officials changed their minds and said, "Look what we have done. We let them get away, and they will no longer be our slaves." The king got his war chariot and army ready. He commanded his officers in charge of his 600 best chariots and all his other chariots to start after the Israelites. The Lord made the king so stubborn that he went after them, while the Israelites proudly went on their way. But the king's horses and chariots and soldiers caught up with them while they were camping by the Red Sea, near Pi-hahiroth and Baal-zephon. When the Israelites saw the king coming with his army, They were frightened and begged the Lord for help. They also complained to Moses, "Wasn't there enough room in Egypt to bury us? Is that why you brought us out here to die in the desert? Why did you bring us out of Egypt anyway?"
What if there was a way you could get your kids a quality Christian education where they can work at any pace, any time, from anywhere? Well, that's exactly what we do. LUOA, school that goes where you do.
Play ball! The boys of summer are back, and our hometown hero, Ed Voiles Hyundai, has just what you're looking for, with a full roster of brand new Hyundais. Right now, drive home in a brand new 2025 Ioniq 5 SEL for just $290 a month, or drive away in a 2025 Santa Fe SEL for just $399 a month. And as always, get America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles. Only at Ed Voiles Hyundai, Cobb Parkway, Marietta. Voiles, family owned and operated since 1952.
Try gummy vitamins from Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist recommended vitamin and supplement brand.
At Sprouts, our wide open layout invites you in.
I know that
With healthy around every corner and tasty on every shelf. This is that Sprouts feeling.
While we were there, didn't we tell you to leave us alone? We'd rather be slaves in Egypt than die in this desert. But Moses answered, "Don't be afraid. Be brave, and you will see the Lord save you today. These Egyptians will never bother you again. The Lord will fight for you, and you won't have to do a thing." The Lord said to Moses, "Why do you keep calling out to me for help? Tell the Israelites to move forward, then hold your walking stick over the sea. The water will open up and make a road where they can walk through on dry ground. I will make the Egyptians so stubborn that they will go after you. Then I will be praised, because of what happens to the king and his chariots and cavalry. The Egyptians will know for sure that I am the Lord." All this time, God's angel had gone ahead of Israel's army, but now he moved behind them. A large cloud had also gone ahead of them, but now it moved between the Egyptians and the Israelites. The cloud gave light to the Israelites, but made it dark for the Egyptians, and during the night they could not come any closer. Moses stretched his arm over the sea, and the Lord sent a strong east wind that blew all night until there was dry land where the water had been. The sea opened up, and the Israelites walked through on dry land with a wall of water on each side. The Egyptian chariots and cavalry went after them. But before daylight, the Lord looked down at the Egyptian army from the fiery cloud and made them panic. Their chariot wheels got stuck, and it was hard for them to move. So the Egyptians said to one another, "Let's leave these people alone. The Lord is on their side and is fighting against us." The Lord told Moses, "Stretch your arm toward the sea. The water will cover the Egyptians and their cavalry and chariots." Moses stretched out his arm, and at daybreak the water rushed toward the Egyptians. They tried to run away, but the Lord drowned them in the sea. The water came and covered the chariots, the cavalry, and the whole Egyptian army that had followed the Israelites into the sea. Not one of them was left alive. But the sea had made a wall of water on each side of the Israelites, so they walked through on dry land. On that day, when the Israelites saw the bodies of the Egyptians washed up on the shore, they knew that the Lord had saved them. Because of the mighty power he had used against the Egyptians, the Israelites worshipped him and trusted him and his servant Moses. After the Israelites left the Red Sea, Moses sang a triumphant song praising God for delivering them from the Egyptians by parting the Red Sea and drowning their pursuers. The song highlights God's power, faithfulness, and the promise of leading them into the Promised Land. Miriam, Moses' sister, also leads the women in a dance and song of praise. Following their celebration, the Israelites journey into the desert of Shur. There they face hardships, including a scarcity of drinkable water. At Marah they find water, but it is bitter. Moses cries out to the Lord, who shows him a piece of wood to throw into the water, making it sweet and drinkable. This event emphasizes the Israelites' dependency on God's guidance and provision. The Israelites' continued journey through the desert, where they grumble against Moses and Aaron due to a lack of food. On the 15th day of the second month after the Israelites had escaped from Egypt, they left Elim and started through the western edge of the Sinai desert in the direction of Mount Sinai. There in the desert, they started complaining to Moses and Aaron. "We wish the Lord had killed us in Egypt. When we lived there, we could at least sit down and eat all the bread and meat we wanted. But you have brought us out here into this desert, where we are going to starve." The Lord said to Moses, "I will send bread down from heaven like rain. Tell the people to go out each day and gather only enough for that day. That's how I will see if they obey me. But on the 6th day of each week, they must gather and cook twice as much." Moses and Aaron told the people, "This evening you will know that the Lord was the one who rescued you from Egypt. And in the morning you will see his glorious power, because he has heard your complaints against him. Why should you grumble to us? Who are we?" Then Moses continued, "You will know it is the Lord when he gives you meat each evening, and more than enough bread each morning. He is really the one you are complaining about, not us. We are nobodies, but the Lord has heard your complaints." Moses turned to Aaron and said, "Bring the people together, because the Lord has heard their complaints." Aaron was speaking to them when everyone looked out toward the desert and saw the bright glory of the Lord in a cloud. The Lord said to Moses, "I have heard my people complain. Now tell them that each evening they will have meat, and each morning they will have more than enough bread. Then they will know that I am the Lord their God." God responds to their complaints by promising to rain down bread from heaven, testing their obedience to his commands. This bread, known as manna, appears each morning except on the Sabbath, teaching the Israelites to trust in God's daily provision. God also sends quails in the evening for meat. The Israelites continue to face challenges with water scarcity, leading them to quarrel and test Moses' leadership, questioning if God is among them. In response, God instructs Moses to strike a rock at Horeb with his staff, from which water miraculously flows out. This event is crucial as it underscores the theme of God's continual provision for his people, despite their doubts and complaints. Furthermore, it solidifies Moses' role as the leader chosen by God to direct and provide for the Israelites. When the Israelites were at Rephidim, they were attacked by the Amalekites. So Moses told Joshua, "Have some men ready to attack the Amalekites tomorrow. I will stand on a hilltop, holding this walking stick that has the power of God." Joshua led the attack as Moses had commanded, while Moses, Aaron, and Hur stood on the hilltop. The Israelites outfought the Amalekites as long as Moses held up his arms, but they started losing whenever he lowered them. After a while, his arms were so tired that Aaron and Hur got a rock for him to sit on. Then they stood beside him and supported his arms in the same position until sunset. That's how Joshua defeated the Amalekites. Afterwards, the Lord said to Moses, "Write an account of this victory and read it to Joshua. I want the Amalekites to be forgotten forever." Moses built an altar and named it, "The Lord Gives Me Victory." Then Moses explained, "This is because I depended on the Lord. But in future generations, the Lord will fight the Amalekites again and again." Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came to the Israelite camp. Jethro, a priest of Midian, hears about all that God has done for Moses and the Israelites, particularly how he delivered them from Egypt. Jethro brings Moses' wife Zipporah and their 2 sons, Gershom and Eleazar, to reunite with Moses in the wilderness. When Jethro arrives, Moses goes out to meet him, bows, and kisses him. They greet each other and go into Moses' tent. Moses recounts to Jethro all that the Lord has done to Pharaoh and the Egyptians for Israel's sake, and the hardships they faced along the way, and how the Lord delivered them. Jethro rejoices over all the good things the Lord has done for Israel, and acknowledges the greatness of the Lord over other gods, because he delivered the Israelites from the hand of the Egyptians. Jethro then offers a burnt offering and sacrifices to God. Aaron and all the elders of Israel come to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before God. The next morning, Moses sat down at the place where he decided legal cases for the people, and everyone crowded around him until evening. Jethro saw how much Moses had to do for the people, and he asked, "Why are you the only judge? Why do you let these people crowd around you from morning till evening?" Moses answered, "Because they come here to find out what God wants them to do. They bring their complaints to me, and I make decisions on the basis of God's laws." Jethro replied, "That isn't the best way to do it. You and the people who come to you will soon be worn out. The job is too much for one person. You can't do it alone. God will help you if you follow my advice. You should be the one to speak to God for the people, and you should teach them God's laws and show them what they must do to live right. You will need to appoint some competent leaders who respect God and are trustworthy and honest. Then put them over groups of 10, 50, 100, and 1,000. These judges can handle the ordinary cases and bring the more difficult ones to you. Having them to share the load will make your work easier. This is the way God wants it done. You won't be under nearly as much stress, and everyone else will return home feeling satisfied. Moses followed Jethro's advice. He chose some competent leaders from every tribe in Israel and put them over groups of 10, 50, 100, and 1,000. They served as judges, deciding the easy cases themselves, but bringing the more difficult ones to Moses. After Moses and his father-in-law Jethro had said goodbye to each other, Jethro returned home. In the 3rd month after leaving Egypt, the Israelites arrive in the desert of Sinai and camp at the foot of Mount Sinai. This significant location marks the beginning of a new phase in their journey, where they will receive the laws and commandments that will define their covenant relationship with God. God calls Moses to the mountain and delivers a message for the Israelites. He reminds them of how he delivered them from Egypt and bore them on eagle's wings. God then promises that if they obey him and keep his covenant, they will be his treasured possession, a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. Moses conveys this message to the people, who agree to do everything the Lord commands. God instructs Moses to consecrate the people over the next 2 days. They are to wash their clothes and prepare themselves for the 3rd day, when the Lord will come down on Mount Sinai in the sight of all the people. Moses gave orders for the people to wash their clothes and make themselves acceptable to worship God. He told them to be ready in 3 days and not to have sex in the meantime. Boundaries are set around the mountain to prevent anyone from approaching it, ensuring that the holiness of the event is preserved and that the people are protected from the divine presence. On the 3rd day, the mountain is covered in a thick cloud, accompanied by thunder, lightning, and a loud trumpet blast. The entire mountain trembles violently as God descends on it in fire, causing smoke to billow up like a furnace. Moses leads the people out of the camp to meet God, and they stand at the foot of the mountain, witnessing this awe-inspiring manifestation of God's presence. From the mountain, God speaks directly to the Israelites, delivering the 10 Commandments. These commandments include directives to worship no other gods, make no idols, not misuse God's name, keep the Sabbath holy, honor their parents, and refrain from murder, adultery, stealing, false testimony, and coveting. These laws establish the core principles of the covenant and the moral and ethical standards for the Israelite community. The thunder, lightning, trumpet sounds, and the smoke-filled mountain instill fear in the people. They are terrified of the direct voice of God and plead with Moses to speak to God on their behalf, fearing that they will die if they hear God speak directly to them. Moses reassures them that God has come to test them and that the fear of God will keep them from sinning. After delivering the 10 Commandments, God gives Moses additional instructions regarding worship. God emphasizes the importance of proper altar construction, stating that altars should be made of earth or uncut stones. The use of tools on the stones would profane them, and steps should not be used to prevent the exposure of nakedness, maintaining the sanctity and purity of worship. This saga underscores the solemnity and significance of the covenant relationship between God and the Israelites. The dramatic events at Mount Sinai, the delivery of the 10 Commandments, and the additional instructions on worship practices all highlight the holiness of God and the need for the Israelites to approach him with reverence, obedience, and purity. This foundational moment sets the stage for the rest of Israel's journey and their ongoing relationship with God. The Lord said to Moses, "Come up on the mountain and stay here for a while. I will give you the 2 flat stones on which I have written the laws that my people must obey." Moses and Joshua, his assistant, got ready. Then Moses started up the mountain to meet with God. When Moses went up on Mount Sinai, a cloud covered it, and the bright glory of the Lord came down and stayed there. The cloud covered the mountain for 6 days. And on the seventh day, the Lord told Moses to come into the cloud. Moses did so and stayed there 40 days and nights. To the people, the Lord's glory looked like a blazing fire on top of the mountain. God gives Moses a comprehensive set of laws governing social justice, worship, and the construction of the tabernacle, along with specific instructions for the priesthood and sacred rituals, emphasizing the covenantal relationship and holiness required of the Israelites. After the people saw that Moses had been on the mountain for a long time, they went to Aaron and said, "Make us an image of a God who will lead and protect us. Moses brought us out of Egypt, but nobody knows what has happened to him." Aaron told them, "Bring me the gold earrings that your wives and sons and daughters are wearing." Everybody took off their earrings and brought them to Aaron. Then he melted them and made an idol in the shape of a young bull. All the people said to one another, "This is the God who brought us out of Egypt." When Aaron saw what was happening, he built an altar in front of the idol and said, "Tomorrow we will celebrate in honor of the Lord." The people got up early the next morning and killed some animals to be used for sacrifices and others to be eaten. Then everyone ate and drank so much that they began to carry on like wild people. The Lord said to Moses, "Hurry back down. Those people you led out of Egypt are acting like fools. They have already stopped obeying me and have made themselves an idol in the shape of a young bull. They have bowed down to it, offered sacrifices, and said that it is the God who brought them out of Egypt. Moses, I have seen how stubborn these people are, and I'm angry enough to destroy them, so don't try to stop me. But I will make your descendants into a great nation." Moses tried to get the Lord God to change his mind. "Our Lord, you used your mighty power to bring these people out of Egypt. Now don't become angry and destroy them. If you do, the Egyptians will say that you brought your people out here into the mountains just to get rid of them. Please don't be angry with your people. Don't destroy them. Remember the solemn promise you made to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You promised that someday they would have as many descendants as there are stars in the sky and that you would give them land." So even though the Lord had threatened to destroy the people, he changed his mind and let them live. Moses went back down the mountain with the 2 flat stones on which God had written all of his laws with his own hand, using both sides of the stones. When Joshua heard the noisy shouts of the people, he said to Moses, "A battle must be going on down in the camp." But Moses replied, "It doesn't sound like they are shouting because they have won or lost a battle. It sounds more like a wild party." As Moses got closer to the camp, he saw the idol, and he also saw the people dancing around. This made him so angry that he threw down the stones and broke them to pieces at the foot of the mountain. He melted the idol the people had made, and he ground it into powder. He scattered it in their water and made them drink it. Moses asked Aaron, "What did these people do to harm you? Why did you make them sin in this terrible way?" Aaron answered, "Don't be angry with me. You know as well as I do that they are determined to do evil. They even told me, 'That man Moses led us out of Egypt, but now we don't know what has happened to him. Make us a god to lead us.' Then I asked them to bring me their gold earrings. They took them off and gave them to me. I threw the gold into a fire, and out came this bull." Moses knew that the people were out of control, and that it was Aaron's fault. And now they had made fools of themselves in front of their enemies. So Moses stood at the gate of the camp and shouted, "Everyone who is on the Lord's side, come over here." Then the men of the Levi tribe gathered around Moses, and he said to them, "The Lord God of Israel commands you to strap on your swords and go through the camp, killing your relatives, your friends, and your neighbors." The men of the Levi tribe followed his orders, and that day they killed about 3,000 men. Moses said to them, "You obeyed the Lord and did what was right, and so you will serve as his priests for the people of Israel. It was hard for you to kill your own sons and brothers, but the Lord has blessed you and made you his priests today." The next day Moses told the people, "This is a terrible thing you have done, but I will go back to the Lord to see if I can do something to keep this sin from being held against you." Moses returned to the Lord and said, "The people have committed a terrible sin. They have made a gold idol to be their god, but I beg you to forgive them. If you don't, please wipe my name out of your book." The Lord replied, "I will wipe out of my book the name of everyone who has sinned against me. Now take my people to the place I told you about, and my angel will lead you. But when the time comes, I will punish them for this sin." So the Lord punished the people of Israel with a terrible disease for talking Aaron into making the gold idol. The Israelites repent and are forgiven. Moses returns to Mount Sinai, sees God's glory, and receives new stone tablets. The saga concludes with the tabernacle being built, including the Ark of the Covenant, and rules are given that govern its use.
It's hard to believe that Tom's of Maine natural toothpaste can remove 95% of surface stains while protecting your enamel. But if nature can make a lake pink, you better believe a natural toothpaste can make your teeth white.
It's incredible.
Nature is full of surprises. New Tom's of Maine White and Plus toothpaste. Never underestimate nature.
Moses, the Lord's servant, was dead. So the Lord spoke to Joshua, son of Nun, who had been the assistant of Moses. The Lord said, "My servant Moses is dead. Now you must lead Israel across the Jordan River into the land I'm giving to all of you. Wherever you go, I'll give you that land, as I promised Moses. It will reach from the southern desert to the Lebanon mountains in the north, and to the northeast as far as the great Euphrates River. It will include the land of the Hittites, and the land from here at the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea on the west. Joshua, I will always be with you and help you as I helped Moses, and no one will ever be able to defeat you. Long ago I promised the ancestors of Israel that I would give this land to their descendants. So be strong and brave. Be careful to do everything my servant Moses taught you. Never stop reading the book of the law he gave you. Day and night you must think about what it says. If you obey it completely, you and Israel will be able to take this land. I've commanded you to be strong and brave. Don't ever be afraid or discouraged. I am the Lord your God, and I will be there to help you wherever you go." Joshua ordered the tribal leaders to go through the camp and tell everyone, "In a few days, we will cross the Jordan River to take the land that the Lord our God is giving us. So prepare as much food as you'll need for the march into the land." Joshua told the men of the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and East Manasseh, "The Lord's servant Moses said that the Lord our God has given you land here on the east side of the Jordan River, where you could live in peace. Your wives and children and your animals can stay here in the land Moses gave you. But all of you that can serve in our army must pick up your weapons and lead the men of the other tribes across the Jordan River. They are your relatives, so you must help them conquer the land that the Lord is giving them. The Lord will give peace to them as he has given peace to you. And then you can come back and settle here in the land that Moses promised you." The men answered, "We'll cross the Jordan River and help our relatives. We'll fight anywhere you send us. If the Lord our God will help you as he helped Moses, and if you are strong and brave, we will obey you as we obeyed Moses. We'll even put to death anyone who rebels against you or refuses to obey you." Joshua chose 2 men as spies and sent them from their camp at Acacia with these instructions. "Go across the river and find out as much as you can about the whole region, especially about the town of Jericho." The 2 spies left the Israelite camp at Acacia and went to Jericho, where they decided to spend the night at the house of a prostitute named Rahab. But someone found out about them and told the king of Jericho, "Some Israelite men came here tonight, and they are spies." So the king sent soldiers to Rahab's house to arrest the spies. Meanwhile, Rahab had taken the men up to the flat roof of her house and had hidden them under some piles of flax plants that she had put there to dry. The soldiers came to her door and demanded, "Let us have the men who are staying at your house. They are spies." She answered, "Some men did come to my house, but I didn't know where they had come from. They left about sunset, just before it was time to close the town gate. I don't know where they were going, but if you hurry, maybe you can catch them." The guards at the town gate let the soldiers leave Jericho, but they closed the gate again as soon as the soldiers went through. Then the soldiers headed toward the Jordan River to look for the spies at the place where people cross the river. Rahab went back up to her roof. The spies were still awake, so she told them, "I know that the Lord has given Israel this land. Everyone shakes with fear because of you. We heard how the Lord dried up the Red Sea so you could leave Egypt. And we heard how you destroyed Sihon and Og, those two Amorite kings east of the Jordan River. We know that the Lord your God rules heaven and earth, and we've lost our courage and our will to fight. Please promise me in the Lord's name that you will be as kind to my family as I have been to you. Do something to show that you won't let your people kill my father and mother, and my brothers and sisters and their families." "Rahab," the spies answered, "if you keep quiet about what we're doing, we promise to be kind to you when the Lord gives us this land. We pray that the Lord will kill us if we don't keep our promise." Rahab's house was built into the town wall, and one of the windows in her house faced outside the wall. She gave the spies a rope, showed them the window, and said, "Use this rope to let yourselves down to the ground outside the wall, then hide in the hills. The men who are looking for you won't be able to find you there. They'll give up and come back after a few days, and you can be on your way." The spies said, "You made us promise to let you and your family live. We will keep our promise, but you can't tell anyone why we were here. You must tie this red rope on your window when we attack, and your father and mother, your brothers and everyone else in your family must be here with you. We'll take the blame if anyone who stays in this house gets hurt, but anyone who leaves your house will be killed, and it won't be our fault." "I'll do exactly what you said," Rahab promised. Then she sent them on their way and tied the red rope to the window. The spies hid in the hills for 3 days, while the king's soldiers looked for them along the roads. As soon as the soldiers gave up and returned to Jericho, the two spies went down into the Jordan Valley and crossed the river. They reported to Joshua and told him everything that had happened. "We're sure the Lord has given us the whole country," they said. "The people there shake with fear every time they think of us." Early the next morning, Joshua and the Israelites packed up and left Acacia. They went to the Jordan River and camped there that night. 2 days later, their leaders went through the camp, shouting, "When you see some of the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant, follow the Ark of the Covenant, so that you will know where you're supposed to go, because you have not been this way before. But stay about half a mile away from it. Don't come any nearer than that as you march." Joshua told the people, "Make yourselves acceptable to worship the Lord, because he is going to do some amazing things for us." Then Joshua turned to the priests and said, "Take the chest and cross the Jordan River ahead of us." So the priests picked up the chest, also known as the Ark of the Covenant, by its carrying poles and went on ahead. The Lord told Joshua, "Beginning today I will show the people that you are their leader, and they will know that I am helping you as I helped Moses. Now tell the priests who are carrying the chest to go a little way into the river and stand there." Joshua spoke to the people, "Come here and listen to what the Lord our God said he will do. The Canaanites, the Hittites, the Hivites, the Perizzites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, and the Jebusites control the land on the other side of the river. But the living God will be with you, and will force them out of the land when you attack. And now, God is going to prove that he's powerful enough to force them out. Just watch the sacred chest that belongs to the Lord, the ruler of the whole earth. As soon as the priests carrying the chest step into the Jordan, the water will stop flowing and pile up as if someone had built a dam across the river. The Lord has also said that each of the 12 tribes should choose one man to represent it." The Israelites packed up and left camp. The priests carrying the chest walked in front until they came to the Jordan River. The water in the river had risen over its banks, as it often does in springtime. But as soon as the feet of the priests touched the water, the river stopped flowing, and the water started piling up at the town of Adam near Zarethan. No water flowed toward the Dead Sea, and the priests stood in the middle of the dry riverbed near Jericho, while everyone else crossed over. After Israel had crossed the Jordan, the Lord said to Joshua, Tell one man from each of the 12 tribes to pick up a large rock from where the priests are standing. Then tell the men to set up those rocks as a monument at the place where you camp tonight." Joshua chose 12 men. Then he called them together and said, "Go to the middle of the riverbed where the sacred chest is and pick up a large rock. Carry it on your shoulder to our camp. There are 12 of you, so there will be one rock for each tribe. Someday your children will ask, 'Why are these rocks here?' Then you can tell them how the water stopped flowing when the chest was being carried across the river. These rocks will always remind our people of what happened here today." The men followed the instructions that the Lord had given Joshua. They picked up 12 rocks, one for each tribe, and carried them to the camp, where they put them down. Joshua set up a monument next to the place where the priests were standing. This monument was also made of 12 large rocks, and it is still there in the middle of the river. The army got ready for battle and crossed the Jordan with everyone else. They marched quickly past the sacred chest and into the desert near Jericho. 40,000 soldiers from the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and East Manasseh led the way, as Moses had ordered. The priests stayed right where they were until the people had followed the orders that the Lord had given Moses and Joshua. Then they watched as the priests carried the chest the rest of the way across. "Joshua," the Lord said, "tell the priests to come up from the Jordan and bring the chest with them." So Joshua went over to the priests and told them what the Lord had said. And as soon as the priests carried the chest past the highest place that the floodwaters of the Jordan had reached, the river flooded its banks again. That's how the Lord showed the Israelites that Joshua was their leader. For the rest of Joshua's life, they respected him as they had respected Moses. It was the 10th day of the first month of the year when Israel crossed the Jordan River. They set up camp at Gilgal, which was east of the land controlled by Jericho. The men who had carried the 12 rocks from the Jordan brought them to Joshua, and they made them into a monument. Then Joshua told the people, "Years from now your children will ask you why these rocks are here. Tell them, 'The Lord our God dried up the Jordan River so we could walk across. He did the same thing here for us that he did for our people at the Red Sea, because he wants everyone on earth to know how powerful he is. And he wants us to worship only him. The Amorite kings west of the Jordan River and the Canaanite kings along the Mediterranean Sea lost their courage and their will to fight when they heard how the Lord had dried up the Jordan River to let Israel go across. While Israel was camped at Gilgal, the Lord said, 'Joshua, make some flint knives and circumcise the rest of the Israelite men and boys.' Joshua made the knives, then circumcised those men and boys at Haraloth Hill. This had to be done because none of Israel's baby boys had been circumcised during the 40 years that Israel had wandered through the desert after leaving Egypt. And why had they wandered for 40 years? It was because right after they left Egypt, the men in the army had disobeyed the Lord. And the Lord had said, 'None of you men will ever live to see the land that I promised Israel. It is a land rich with milk and honey, and someday your children will live there, but not before you die here in the desert.' Everyone who had been circumcised needed time to heal, and they stayed in camp. The Lord told Joshua, 'It was a disgrace for my people to be slaves in Egypt, but now I have taken away that disgrace.' So the Israelites named the place Gilgal, and it still has that name. Israel continued to camp at Gilgal in the desert near Jericho, and on the 14th day of the same month they celebrated Passover. The next day God stopped sending the Israelites manna to eat each morning, and they started eating food grown in the land of Canaan. They ate roasted grain and thin bread made of the barley they had gathered from nearby fields. One day, Joshua was near Jericho when he saw a man standing some distance in front of him. The man was holding a sword, so Joshua walked up to him and asked, 'Are you on our side or on our enemy's side?' 'Neither,' he answered. 'I am here because I am the commander of the Lord's army.' Joshua fell to his knees and bowed down to the ground. 'I am your servant,' he said. 'Tell me what to do.' 'Take off your sandals,' the commander answered. 'This is a holy place.' So Joshua took off his sandals. Meanwhile, the people of Jericho had been locking the gates in their town wall because they were afraid of the Israelites. No one could go out or come in. The Lord said to Joshua, 'With my help, you and your army will defeat the king of Jericho and his army, and you will capture the town. Here is how to do it. March slowly around Jericho once a day for 6 days. Take along the sacred chest and tell 7 priests to walk in front of it carrying trumpets. But on the 7th day, march slowly around the town 7 times while the priests blow their trumpets. Then the priests will blast on their trumpets, and everyone else will shout. The wall will fall down, and your soldiers can go straight in from every side. Joshua called the priests together and said, "Take the chest and tell 7 priests to carry trumpets and march ahead of it." Next he gave the army their orders. March slowly around Jericho. A few of you will go ahead of the chest to guard it, but most of you will follow it. Don't shout the battle cry or yell or even talk until the day I tell you to. Then let out a shout. As soon as Joshua finished giving the orders, the army started marching. One group of soldiers led the way, with 7 priests marching behind them and blowing trumpets. Then came the priests carrying the chest, followed by the rest of the soldiers. They obeyed Joshua's orders and carried the chest once around the town, before returning to camp for the night. Early the next morning, Joshua and everyone else started marching around Jericho in the same order as the day before. One group of soldiers was in front, followed by the 7 priests with trumpets, and the priests who carried the chest. The rest of the army came next. The 7 priests blew their trumpets while everyone marched slowly around Jericho and back to camp. They did this once a day for 6 days. On the 7th day, the army got up at daybreak. They marched slowly around Jericho, the same as they had done for the past 6 days. Except on this day, they went around 7 times. Then the priests blew the trumpets, and Joshua yelled, "Get ready to shout. The Lord will let you capture this town. But you must destroy it and everything in it, to show that it now belongs to the Lord. The woman Rahab helped the spies we sent, so protect her and the others who are inside her house. But kill everyone else in the town. The silver and gold and everything made of bronze and iron belong to the Lord, and must be put in his treasury. Be careful to follow these instructions, because if you see something you want and take it, the Lord will destroy Israel, and it will be all your fault." The priests blew their trumpets again, and the soldiers shouted as loud as they could. The walls of Jericho fell flat. Then the soldiers rushed up the hill, went straight into the town, and captured it. They killed everyone, men and women, young and old, everyone except Rahab and the others in her house. They even killed every cow, sheep, and donkey. Joshua said to the 2 men who had been spies, "Rahab kept you safe when I sent you to Jericho. We promised to protect her and her family, and we will keep that promise. Now go into her house and bring them out." The 2 men went into Rahab's house and brought her out, along with her father and mother, her brothers, and her other relatives. Rahab and her family had to stay in a place just outside the Israelite army camp. But later they were allowed to live among the Israelites, and her descendants still do. The Israelites took the silver and gold and the things made of bronze and iron, and put them with the rest of the treasure that was kept at the Lord's house. Finally, they set fire to Jericho, and everything in it. After Jericho was destroyed, Joshua warned the people, "Someday a man will rebuild Jericho, but the Lord will put a curse on him, and the man's oldest son will die when he starts to build the town wall. And by the time he finishes the wall and puts gates in it, all his children will be dead." The Lord helped Joshua in everything he did, and Joshua was famous everywhere in Canaan. The Lord had said that everything in Jericho belonged to him, but Achan from the Judah tribe took some of the things from Jericho for himself. And so the Lord was angry with the Israelites, because one of them had disobeyed him. While Israel was still camped near Jericho, Joshua sent some spies with these instructions. "Go to the town of Ai, and find out whatever you can about the region around the town." The spies left and went to Ai, which is east of Bethel and near Beth-Aven. They went back to Joshua and reported, "You don't need to send the whole army to attack Ai. 2,000 or 3,000 troops will be enough. Why bother the whole army for a town that small?" Joshua sent about 3,000 soldiers to attack Ai. But the men of Ai fought back and chased the Israelite soldiers away from the town gate and down the hill to the stone quarries. 36 Israelite soldiers were killed, and the Israelite army felt discouraged. Joshua and the leaders of Israel tore their clothes and put dirt on their heads to show their sorrow. They lay face down on the ground in front of the sacred chest until sunset. Then Joshua said, "Our Lord, did you bring us across the Jordan River just so the Amorites could destroy us? This wouldn't have happened if we had agreed to stay on the other side of the Jordan. I don't even know what to say to you, since Israel's army has turned and run from the enemy. Everyone will think you weren't strong enough to protect your people. Now the Canaanites and everyone else who lives in the land will surround us and wipe us out." The Lord answered, "Stop lying there on the ground. Get up. I said everything in Jericho belonged to me and had to be destroyed. But the Israelites have kept some of the things for themselves. They stole from me and hid what they took. Then they lied about it. What they stole was supposed to be destroyed, and now Israel itself must be destroyed. I cannot help you anymore until you do exactly what I have said. That's why Israel turns and runs from its enemies instead of standing up to them. Tell the people of Israel, tomorrow you will meet with the Lord your God, so make yourselves acceptable to worship him. The Lord says that you have taken things that should have been destroyed. You won't be able to stand up to your enemies until you get rid of those things. Tomorrow morning everyone must gather near the place of worship. You will come forward tribe by tribe, and the Lord will show which tribe is guilty. Next, the clans in that tribe must come forward, and the Lord will show which clan is guilty. The families in that clan must come, and the Lord will point out the guilty family. Finally, the men in that family must come, and the Lord will show who stole what should have been destroyed. That man must be put to death, his body burned, and his possessions thrown into the fire. He has done a terrible thing by breaking the sacred agreement that the Lord made with Israel." Joshua got up early the next morning and brought each tribe to the place of worship, where the Lord showed that the Judah tribe was guilty. Then Joshua brought the clans of Judah to the Lord, and the Lord showed that the Zerah clan was guilty. One by one he brought the leader of each family in the Zerah clan to the Lord, and the Lord showed that Zabdi's family was guilty. Finally, Joshua brought each man in Zabdi's family to the Lord, and the Lord showed that Achan was the guilty one. "Achan," Joshua said, "the Lord God of Israel has decided that you are guilty. So tell me what you did, and don't try to hide anything." "It's true," Achan answered. "I sinned and disobeyed the Lord God of Israel. While we were in Jericho, I saw a beautiful Babylonian robe, 200 pieces of silver and a gold bar that weighed the same as 50 pieces of gold. I wanted them for myself, so I took them. I dug a hole under my tent and hid the silver, the gold, and the robe." Joshua told some people to run to Achan's tent, where they found the silver, the gold, and the robe. They brought them back and put them in front of the sacred chest, so Joshua and the rest of the Israelites could see them. Then everyone took Achan and the things he had stolen to Trouble Valley. They also took along his sons and daughters, his cattle, donkeys, and sheep, his tent, and everything else that belonged to him. Joshua said, "Achan, you caused us a lot of trouble. Now the Lord is paying you back with the same kind of trouble." The people of Israel then stoned to death Achan and his family. They made a fire and burned the bodies, together with what Achan had stolen and all his possessions. They covered the remains with a big pile of rocks, which is still there. Then the Lord stopped being angry with Israel.
And here we are.
Aren't we nervous about presenting in front of the entire team today? Nah.
And founder, editor, everything over here at AI Bible Sagas.